got your hot cocoa. Oh, shit, I'll give you something hot. What the fuck? What's goody, Kendall? What's goody, team? Just gonna give everybody another 3 minutes, 2 minutes to join at 7:05. We will get started. Gonna be a pretty lengthy session. I feel kind of motivated today, so we're gonna take some time today. Some of the pairs. Specifically, I really want to go over GU. I really want to go over obviously US 30, which is the trade that we took today. Kendall, we'll go over US OYO 2 here in the session as well to answer your question that you had earlier. But again, really, the same thing I'm going to say with GU is the same thing that I'm going to say about AU, which is the same thing I'm going to say about GA, and the same thing that we're going to talk about with EU. So, again, you guys always hear me say this. I treat every single pair the exact same way because I'm trading the exact same thing on every single pair. The only difference is some pairs are on a downtrend, some pairs are on an uptrend, some pairs are consolidating. The overall vision of what we're looking for is the exact same thing across the board, right? But again, we'll go over it. I feel kind of motivated today, so we'll go ahead and do this session. We'll talk about everything that we need to talk about. Make sure that you guys are good. Again, if there's any questions, just let me know in the chat. If you have any specific pairs you guys want me to go over, let me know in the chat. We'll be going over in specific the ones you see on the right hand side with the red flag next to their name, starting off with AUDUSD, and we will be going in order from the top to the bottom, finishing off with US oil. But yeah, nah, bro, it's cold as fuck over here, bro. I got home, it was like 2-3 p.m. Bro, I stayed in the garage for like 3 hours, no bullshit. Like I walked in the house maybe like 30-45 minutes ago. And it was getting cold like in the morning. No, sun was out. It was a cool 66, 67. But the sun's out, so you don't really feel it. It's not that bad. But as soon as the sun started going down, what's it at right now? Like, think about it. We have the AC off in the house. It's been off since this morning. Bro, the house, last time I was outside and I looked at the thermostat, it said inside the house was like 66. I'm freezing right now. Outside is 53 right now, and it's supposed to be getting down to 44, 42 at 12 a.m., 1 a.m., and then tomorrow morning we're waking up at 37 fucking degrees. Like, what the fuck? Who gave Florida permission to go down to 37? You know what I mean? Like, hello? But yeah, bro, it's fucking cold. And the craziest thing, you got your hot cocoa, I got a fucking iced coffee. So this is kind of crazy out of me, but it's all good. He got a spark bet. You must got us some cheeks, man. Turn the AC off. I got cover and the heater on. Hot cocoa. Nah, you're living life. Yeah, nah. AC is off. Windows are all open. Shit. As soon as I'm done with the session, I'm going back outside to the garage for a little bit. Enjoy the cold weather, bro. But that shit is cold. Cold as a motherfucker, bro. That's what I was saying yesterday. Like, it's crazy. Yesterday was in 97. It was fucking raining, humid as hell. And then you walk out this morning, it's mad fucking cold. It's like, alright. Like, that's why motherfuckers be getting sick out here. But it's all good. Yeah, yesterday was, that's what I'm saying. Like, yesterday was hot as fuck. Florida weather is weird, bro. Last week was cold. Right, last week was, I'm not going to say it was freezing. Last week was cold. It was down to the 60s. It was down to the 50s in some nights. We have a projector in the house. We did a whole movie night. The first night that it was cold, and we were watching Harry Potter outside with blankets on and shit. And then this week comes, or the end of last week, it started getting hot again, started raining, got to 97, 80s, hot as shit. Up until yesterday, and then today we woke up mad cold. So it's like in a span of 13 days, we went from cold hot to how the hell are we at 37? So bipolar, yeah, bipolar as weather facts. What's good, Mr. Albert? Welcome. Hope you're having a good day so far, my brother. Or I hope you had a good day. I know it's what, 2 a.m. for you, 1 a.m. for you? Just wanted to give everybody a few minutes to join. Yeah, we'll give everybody till, what time is it? 7 already? Yeah, we'll give everybody another 3 minutes to join, and then we'll get started. Again, it's gonna be a pretty not gonna say it's gonna be a long session, but there's gonna be a lot of information, right? It shouldn't take us longer than an hour, because realistically speaking, again, I'm not gonna go over every single pair. The ones that I'm going to highlight, for sure, the ones I'm gonna highlight is US 30 and GU and US oil. If I run into another pair and I feel like talking about it, we'll go ahead and talk about that, but should be a pretty good session tonight. 12 a.m. Yeah, that's crazy. That's dedication right there, Albert. You know what I mean? It goes to really show, the people who say they want it compared to the people who say they want it and they actually put in the time. Again, people like you, people like Muhammad, and I say you guys specifically because you guys live in other parts of the world that's 5 hours, 7 hours ahead of me, 8 hours ahead of me, and you guys still show up to the session, or you guys still watch the recording and ask questions. So you guys are doing it the right way. So that's real typical. The fact that you just had a long day, took care of your business today, you went to work, did what you had to do, probably had a stressful day, and you're still, you either took a nap and you woke up to watch the session, or you stayed up to watch the session. That's real dedication, and that's really what it takes in trading, but not only in trading, again, in life. That's what it takes to be successful at whatever it is that you want to do, right? You don't half-ass it. You don't just say, oh, I'm gonna 2026, I'm gonna go to the gym, and then you go to the gym for 2 days and then you stop going. Oh, what happened? Oh, it's boring, right? No, you guys actually put in the goal to want to learn it, and you do what you have to do to be able to learn. So again, that's real tippable out of you guys, for real. So hope that gives everybody the motivation they need to really understand, like, damn, this guy's still awake at 12 a.m. watching a boring ass session. All right, and then everybody, it especially gives motivation to those people who live in the States, right? Because it doesn't matter where you live in the States. You're either in the West Coast, that's 3 hours behind me, or you're Central, that's an hour behind me, or you live in the East Coast and it's 7 p.m. You have no reason, 7 p.m. You already got out of work, you already ate your food, and you're getting ready to watch Netflix. Fuck Netflix. Come watch this fucking stream. Come learn something. So, Albert, while you're here at 12 in the morning learning something, other motherfuckers are beating their meat to nasty ass women and doing some other bullshit, right? Watching Netflix, they're giving their time to something else that's not even going to elevate their lifestyle. But again, that's the biggest difference. And I say that to say this: we only got a month left before the year ends, and you guys will see. We went from beginning of the year, we had what, 15, 20 people watching. As soon as May hit, nobody was here no more. Once May hit, it was just the regular people who really want to learn. And then again, at the end of the year, I'm putting it out right now, right before Christmas, we're going to go back to 30, 20 people watching. And it's going to be the same thing. I'm ready for 2026, guys. Is my goal to be famous. All right. You say that every year, man. It's, I don't know about you, but I got to see it to believe it. You know what I mean? I was lied to way too many times as a kid, and I don't want to burst anybody's bubbles, especially any kids watching if you guys got kids around, but once you get older, you realize what Santa Claus is. Once you get older, you realize what the Tooth Fairy is, right? Seeing is believing at the end of the day. So, that's a good analogy to give out. Shit ain't boring when it's getting you out the mud in your family. That's facts. I feel Forex is my way out. I've come too far, way too far. That's what I tell everybody. I'm like, yo, you've already been in this for a year. You've already been in this for 6 months. You're going to stop now? Like, nah. You gotta keep going. You really don't got a choice. So there's a difference between knowing the path and walking the path. That is facts. Yeah, a lot of people say they know stuff and it's different, right? You get their perspective on life. Oh yeah, I know this, but they only know it from word of mouth or what they've seen on the internet. A lot of these people don't really take the initiative to walk through it, to really go through it, really understand what it's about. I always say this, bro. I say this all the time because I like to reminisce about, what could have been and what could have happened and what ifs, because that's really what life is about. It's always about the what ifs and decisions that you make, so on and so forth. But, a lot of the skill sets that I learned in my past life, whatever that means for everybody, the decisions I made from age 12 to, I'm 24 now, so pretty much the last 12 years of my life, who knows, bro? Who knows what would have been and what I could have done? All I know is that this is the path that I'm on now, and it's been enjoyable, bro. I love every minute of it. There's nothing like, bro, today was, just to put it in perspective, woke up at 6 in the morning, fucking got on the charts, didn't see anything, on the regular pairs. So I said, all right, yo, I'm just gonna wait till 9:30. Saw US 30. I took a shower, went to the bathroom, came out of the shower. I saw US 30 again. I'm like, yo, perfect. Changed, got to the car, did what I had to do today. I took the trade, placed my TP, placed my stop loss, and I went on with my day. An hour and a half later, I get a notification, bing, TP hit. I'm like, oh shit, I forgot I even took this trade. Saw the trade, zero fucking drawdown, straight to TP. That's just how it is. And this isn't something that I've been able to, oh, I learned it in 2 days. Nah, this is 8 years of hard work. 8 years of fucking doing this shit like there's no tomorrow. And again, I don't like to say 8 years because realistically speaking, again, I did start learning about trading and Forex in 2017, but I really didn't start taking it serious until 2021, 2022, when I decided to, if you want to call it retirement or if you just want to call it that I quit because I'm a bitch, in the gaming space. But once I decided that, gaming wasn't my passion anymore and I decided, you know what, I'm going full time in trading, which again was really in 2021, 2022. The last 3 years, the last 3-4 years of my life all it's been has been trading, and it's all been documented, which is crazy. It's all online. You guys can see it. All on the YouTube channel. Scroll all the way down. You see when we started this channel and when I really started going crazy on the charts. So trading is just like any other profession, bro. It's like any other thing, any other career you want to get into. You go to school. Again, a lot of people, depend on what your career is. We'll speak about school. You're in school from the time you're 4 or 5 years old all the way till you're 24, 25, 26, 27, depending on what your career is. How many years of schooling did you do in order for you to be in the profession that you're in now? It didn't take you 2 years. It didn't take you 1 year. It didn't take you 6 months. It took you 12 years of hard work and dedication to make sure that you go to school, to make sure that you maintain a 3.5, a 3.0 GPA, to make sure that you maintain your scholarships for the people who got scholarships, to maintain your grades, to make sure that you're not on academic probation, to make sure that you're showing up to classes every single day on time, making sure that you're submitting your homework before the deadlines. The same dedication you guys have for school is the same dedication you're going to have when you're on the charts. Only difference, you don't have a teacher in your ear. You don't have the dean. You don't have the principal in your ear telling you, yo, you need to maintain a GPA. You don't have a boss telling you, yo, you have to be in the office, but it's all you. Trading is all on you. Trading is all on you. Are you waking up on time? Your mentors are not gonna call you, yo, Kendall, do I wake you up? Do I call you to be like, yo, show up to class in the morning? Yo, show up to the class at night? Do I call you like, yo, make sure you're looking at the charts? Or do you do it because you know you gotta be there? Same thing for you, Albert. Do I call you? Do I send you a text message like, yo, make sure you're in class? No. You guys already know at what time I'm starting. You guys know I'm here outside. Nobody calls me to tell me, yo, session starts in 3 minutes. You better hurry up. Nobody's calling me. Nobody's calling me to say to wake up at 6 in the morning to be on the charts. Nobody. This is all on me. So that's the biggest difference. right? In trading, you have to take the initiative. And unfortunately, that's not a skill that, it's a double-edged sword. It's really not a skill that you learn in school. Because in school, you're not going to school because 90% of people aren't going to school because they told themselves they have to go to school. 90% of people are going to school because their parents said they had to go to school. And they're not showing up on time because they want to show up in time. They're showing up in time because if they don't show up in time, their boss is going to fire them. Right? If you don't show up in time in school, you're fucked. You're going to get dropped from the class. You see what I'm saying? So there's a difference. There's a huge difference. So, the skill set, the discipline that trading has taught me, that's something that life would have never been able to teach me. Right? So that's just what it is. So, dropping a lot of gems today. As like Kendall says, I feel the spark today. I don't know what got to me, but I feel the spark. It might have been that US 30 trade. It's been a minute that when was the last trade I took? Was what, Bitcoin in the beginning of the? No, I don't even think it was the beginning of the month. I don't even remember anymore. I haven't fucking been really trading. When was that Bitcoin trade that I took? I unpinned it from my ex. Let me go look. I'll give you guys the date. Something else, cause I don't want to just yap on and have your ears fall off. But as you guys know, we were looking at the last trade I took was October 25th. So about 2 weeks ago now, which was that Bitcoin trade. I don't even know what I was gonna say. Oh yeah, tomorrow, right? Tomorrow we already know, November 11th, Tuesday, is a federal holiday for a lot of places right here in the States and Canada. I believe NZD as well. If I'm not mistaken, I think Euro pairs also have a bank holiday. So, tomorrow I'm definitely not going to be trading the NYC session. I am 100% telling you guys this right now. I'm not going to be streaming tomorrow morning, so don't wait for that. It's a bank holiday. 99.9% of the times there's a bank holiday, there's no volume in the market. Right? Maybe I missed the news today. I don't think the government has reopened. Let me go look at Forex Factory because I'm sure that'll tell me. Yeah, the government is still shut down. At least the notification is still down, or the notification is still up, saying that it's still shut down. Oh, they're live right now. They're talking in the White House right now. Senate pushes forward. That was 38 minutes ago. Senate pushes forward on deal to reopen the government. So as of right now, it's still shut down. Yeah, 21 minutes ago, there's another article saying it's still shut down. Let me see if I could look at any date 41 of the government shut up. I don't want to turn off my ad blocker, man. I hate this website. Leave me alone. Yeah, so government still shut down. So, again, the news that we have at the end of the week, the high impact news that we have for the USD pairs, as of right now, again, there's a 50% chance that the news might hit. There's a 50% chance that they're going to move those dates into another date, or, they'll do the news, but there's really not going to be no volume in the markets the way we've been seeing it for the last 40 days. Some news days are bigger than others. Some news days nothing happens. Some others, something does happen. So right now it's just more about market structure. Again, when I'm looking at trades at the end of the day, the charts are speaking to me. I speak the language of the charts. At the end of the day, if I step up onto the charts and it's a news day and there's nothing clear, I'm not taking a trade. If it's a news day and I see the chart and it's crystal clear what direction price wants to go, I'm taking the trade. So either way, this entire week we'll step up to the charts the same way we've been doing it for the last 11 months. Rinse and repeat. There's nothing different. It's rinse and repeat. So, holy shit, it's 7:21 already. I literally said I'm starting at 7:05 and it's 7:22. Time flies when I turn the stream on. I swear to God, I was waiting for. I sat on this chair waiting for 7 to hit, and it felt like I was waiting 2 days. As soon as I started talking, we went from 7:09 to 7:22, and I feel like I've only been talking for a minute. I don't know how time flies this fast when I turn the stream on. But Enough talking. We'll give everybody another 3 minutes. I want to start flat, 7:25. So we'll give everybody another 3 minutes to join. What's good, Adrian? Hello, I'm at the hospital watching. Don't tell the patients. It's crazy. Again, goes to what I was just telling Albert, bro. The dedication is you know, as much as people tell me I motivate them, seeing how persistent and consistent I am with trading, you guys motivate me, man. Again, knowing that it's 12 a.m. for Albert and he's still up watching the session, knowing that you're at work at the fucking hospital and you're still pulling up the streams, still doing what you gotta do, that's real dedication. That's what motivates me. So, like, again, I don't say it often because I don't want to give you guys your flowers, but you guys really do motivate me. That's real passion that you guys have. And again, that is motivating. Because again, right now you could be doing whatever. Instead of you had a horrible day or maybe you had a stressful ass day at work, like I was telling Adrian, you had a stressful day. The last thing you want to do is listen to me yell at you guys about some stupid shit. Right? Right now you could be watching YouTube and you could be watching Netflix and you could be in the back room with your, I'm not gonna say no, I'm not gonna put you on blast, Adrian, but you could be in the back room with your little nurses and stuff. Wink, wink. But you're not. You're over here fucking putting in the time, sacrificing your own time in order to really get the information that you need to have. You need to have this information. There's just no other way around it. So, again, we'll start in 40 seconds. I won't talk over anymore. I've already been talking for 20 minutes. You guys haven't told me to shut up yet, so that's good. That's good at least. Usually you guys are telling me to speed it up and fucking stop talking, old man. Like, whatever, bro. Making me feel old. Like, motherfucker, I'm only 24. I'm not unk status yet. I'm unk, but I'm not unk status yet when it comes to my age. Just getting out from the OR, bro, that's crazy. I can't imagine. You see, that's the thing. Like, we're thankful you keep teaching us. No problem, no problem. You gotta vent sometimes, I understand, bro. It's just me, man. I don't got nobody to vent to. You guys are my... What is it? What am I supposed to say here? That you guys are the only people I can vent to, bro. I don't talk to nobody. If I'm not in... You gotta understand this, Kendall. Like, if I'm not in Discord, I'm not talking to nobody unless I have to. Unless I'm in a meeting, unless I got a phone call, I don't talk. All day, I think about it. From 6 in the morning up until 7 p.m., I haven't said a fucking single word to anybody today. I call my mom. Yo, what's good, mom? That's it. Like, outside of talking to my mom today, who else did I talk to today? That's it. I think I've only spoken to my mom today. I spoke to my mom on the phone today. That's all I did today. So I've been fucking silent, like a who's silent? I don't even know, bro. Horrible fucking analogy. I don't know who's silent. I'm silent. I don't speak to nobody. So as soon as I turn the stream on, it's like, damn, I could finally talk. I'm the same way. It's facts. But I'm being so dead ass. Like, if I'm not in Discord, I'm not speaking. Best believe I'm just living life where I'm going through the motion. I went fishing. It was cold as shit. I was out there for 15 minutes and I walked my happy ass back home. Said I'm not standing in this cold. Fish weren't even biting. I'm like, those fish are hibernating. There's no way they're even alive right now. It's way too cold for those fish to be biting, bro. I don't know. That's the price of peace. You talking to the fish? I don't speak to the fish, but I'm not that crazy. I haven't got it to that point in my life yet. I also talk to myself, but I talk to myself internally. It's not like I speak out loud. So yeah, I don't speak out loud because I don't want people to think I'm schizophrenic. That's the facts. But I do talk to myself all day. I keep myself entertained. I be having some crazy ass conversations in my brain. You speak out loud, you're schizophrenic. You gotta get some help. Seek some help, Kendall. I could send you to Adrian, bro. You know what I mean? Adrian will help you out. He'll prescribe you some pills. You're a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs if you speak out loud to yourself. You gotta get that checked out, man. I'm perfectly fine. I believe it. Full blown conversations too. You know what they say, bro? Like, you're laughing? Yeah. You know what they say. You know the first stage of, what is it? I don't know. You're in denial is what I'm trying to say. You know, all it takes is the first step is to be like, yo, you know what? Maybe I am a little crazy, and that's the first step to seeking help. I'm a surgeon. You need a psychiatrist. Yeah, you're fucked. Yeah, you're fucked, Kendo. Yeah, that's crazy. Yo. No, that's funny. My grandma be telling me that shit all the time. Like, yo, you need. My grandma be telling me, yo, you need a psychiatrist. You don't need a psychologist. You don't need to speak to. You need to go to a psych ward ASAP. You don't be nobody to talk to. Too many bots. That's also facts. That is also facts. Too many NPCs out here, bro. Way too fucking many. I think I said this yesterday about, yeah, I spoke about this. Yes, I don't gotta bring this up again, but I was just gonna bring up, the conversation I had a few days ago with this dude. He was here for a seminar, a trading seminar in Orlando. It was a 3-day seminar from some random guy I've never heard of before. Fucking the guy charges $100 a day to his students. Yo, you guys better buckle up, bro. You guys better start making some cash ASAP on trading. 2026, yo. Vice Trading Academy, $100 a day to show up to these sessions. You guys better be ready. What the fuck? Yo, this guy charges $100 a day to his students. I'm over here doing this shit for free. Crazy work. Then we got these internet gurus, fucking $1,000 courses. Yo, you guys, I'm telling you, time is gonna come. The time will come, but it's not anytime soon. You guys are good. I'm just trolling. But fuck. We cashing out for your birthday, man? Man, my birthday's in March, bro. I'm gonna have to start charging you guys in January $100 a day so I could live it up for my birthday, yo. You know what I'd do with $100 a day for 3 months? Shit. $100 a day? Yo. Come on, man. It's insane work. But again, that is the why, yo, this is what I'm saying. Like, why people call me at the time that I gotta do the session, yo. Give me a second. Dímelo cantando. My bad, I'm back. I had to make sure she was good, yo. Yeah. I can't miss a phone call from my grandma anymore, bro. She getting to that point where it's getting scary out there for the old lady, man. Dímelo cantando, yo. Uh, Cash out for extra 3 bands a month. That's what I'm saying, bro. Shit. $100 a day, 100 students. See, I'm never trading again. Shit. Never trading again. That's a damn fact. Can you imagine? And that's what I'm saying. Like, yo, 90 fucking percent of these guys you see online, again, the reason why you only see them winning once in a blue moon, because they really don't gotta put in the time to learn this shit. They really don't, because they already got it. Yo, again, you're charging thousands of dollars to hundreds of students. You don't need a trade. You know you don't need a trade. You're making enough money to go buy a Bugatti, and that's it. And then you're making cash from the online revenue stream, from social medias, and again, it's a hell of a hustle. It's a hell of a thing to do. It's a hell of a thing to maintain. So again, I can't knock their hustle. I know it's a tough job. I've done it. I know exactly what it is. I know exactly what it takes to maintain people engage into your accounts. Again, I'm a marketing student. That's what I went to school for. So I get it. I understand. I'm not knocking their hustle. Yo, Kendall, you're a freak. Yeah, it's funny as shit. You stupid, bro. Oh man. Alright, boys, we ready? Shit, we're already starting off bad. We're 30 minutes, we're just yapping. How are you guys doing, bro? I'll start whenever you guys are ready. No, I'm ready to start. We'll get about another minute. We'll start at 7:35. I have a tick in my brain. I can't start at a weird time. Like 7:21. Nah, I can't do that. 7:35, I'm getting started, man. Give it one more minute. That's it. Just 1 minute. 60 seconds. I'll take another sip of my coffee. That's probably why I'm wired up, bro. This fucking coffee got me tweaking. Damn. I drank it all. We're good. I know. I don't even got water. This is not good. Yeah. Golly. I'm losing already. Do, 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 do. 20 seconds. Then we'll get started. I know Albert hates me. He's like, yo, it's 12:30. You haven't even fucking started. I'm about to go to sleep. I know Albert hates me. Same thing with Muhammad, bro. I know Muhammad hates me. Muhammad's a little bit different. Yo, Muhammad's already 2 in the morning. I know that motherfucker hates me. Muhammad be like, yo, you be taking way too. Alright, I was about to start fucking talking again. Now I can't start till 7:40 if it hits 7:36. Alright, guys. So AUD USD, we are still in level 3 on a downtrend. Right? The last and final push on the overall market makers pattern. When we're looking at the structure, right, where are we? We know that we had push 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, and then the beginning of push number 3 that gave us the break of structure of the bottom of the zone of consolidation, that gave us the lower low, right? And again, when we're following market structure, again, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high on the daily time frame, we know that we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low, equal highs, and then price started consolidating, and then price gave us the break that gave us the lower low. So all we're looking for is for price to give us that set lower high point. And again, on your charts, you're always going to have multiple areas of interest. You're always going to have multiple points of interest that you're looking for price to go to, right? Because again, when you draw out the chart, exactly what we did here, right? You have lower low, lower high, lower low. Where is the lower high going to be set? And again, your different points of interest all deal with what your trading strategy is, right? What your entry rules are and what you're looking for. Again, a lot of people, depending on what you use, if you use fibs, if you use EMAs, if you use liquidity sweeps, if you use order blocks, if you use engulfing candles, if you're looking at different patterns on the chart, harmonic patterns, double tops, double bottoms, if you're looking for flag post patterns, if you're looking for doji candles and the nighttime candles and the morning time candles and the doji candles, the exhaustion candles, all depends on what your entry strategy is, right? At the end of the day, what it boils down to is not your entry strategy, is something that will always be the same every single time is market structure. If you don't understand market structure, then you really don't understand where price is going to go, and you don't understand why price is going to go to these areas. Because again, liquidity sweeps, order blocks, ICT methods, Roger Banks methods, Q Banks methods, they teach you entry strategies. I'm not going to say all of them that I just mentioned, right? Because some of them that I mentioned do follow market structure, but it's not as pristine as we put it, right? With that being said, we could already see, all right, price gave us a lower low, and we're back at the highs again, right? The same point of interest that we had when price reached this zone here, we were looking for the same thing to happen, and we're looking for the same thing to happen here at this lower high point, because price gave us on the internal time frame, it gave us another higher high. On the external time frame, it gave us another lower high point, right? Because if we zoom into the daily time frame, and we know if you zoom into the daily time frame, if you're on the daily time frame and you're zoomed in like this, you're not looking at daily moves. And this is what a lot of people don't understand. Even though these are daily candles that are printing, when you're zooming out to the chart, or I'm sorry, when you're zooming into the chart on the daily time frame, you're no longer looking at daily structure, right? This higher high, higher low, and higher high that you see here on the daily time frame where we're zoomed in, this is internal time frame movement. This could either be the 4-hour, the 30-minute, or the 5-minute structure. Again, daily time frame, when you're looking at structure on the daily time frame, what are we really looking at is lower low, lower high, lower low, and all we're looking for is that lower high point to be set on the daily time frame. Now, how do you know when that is a valid set lower high on the daily time frame? Is when the internal time frame starts shifting, right? And what I mean by that is, again, if you zoom into the chart on the daily time frame, what do we still see? We could still see higher high, higher low, higher high. We could still see price respecting the previous higher low. We could see that price is giving us a double bottom, right? So this is already giving us an early indication, hey, price isn't ready to go from this lower high point down into these lower lows all the way at the bottom again. It's not ready yet, because price internally is still making higher highs and higher lows. But as soon as the lower time frame starts giving you those lower lows and lower highs, that's when you know that the lower high on the daily time frame, on the external time frame, that's how you know when that lower high is set, and that's when you should start looking to get into those trades to follow the overall trend. Right? Let me know if that makes sense. So right now on AUD/USD, all I'm looking for is for price to give me that set lower high. Now, what are you looking for next? What should you be looking for? Cool. Let's go to the internal time frame. Let's go to the 4-hour. Right? On the 4-hour time frame, again, zooming it out. What is price doing? You can see now that we're in the internal moves of the daily time frame. Right? And on the 4-hour, we can see that at one point we were downtrending, and then price started uptrending, which takes us to where we're at right now, where price on the 4-hour, higher high, higher low, higher high, price came down and gave us a higher low, and price has just been consolidating here. And again, you guys could go back to last week's session, you could go back to Sunday's session, you could go back to Thursday's session. This isn't something that I drew out right now before the stream started to make myself look smart. No, I drew this on Thursday, I drew this on Saturday, whenever I did this session, before any of this was printed. And I drew this out beforehand so I could fucking laugh at you guys and be like, haha, look at me, I'm the best. No, I didn't do that for that. I'm joking. But it's to show you guys the information that you need to have in trading in order to avoid getting faked out. It's a lot of information. It's a lot of information that you're going to need to have. This is just clarification for those people who feel like they'll never get it. It's too difficult. It's too much information. It's all in your head. Because if I could do it, you could do it too. And I say this because I wasn't a straight A student. I'm not a AP class. I wasn't in advanced classes. I wasn't in the smart people classes. I was middle school. I was all in intensive. Right? Math, I was in intensive until I fucking graduated. I hated math. I didn't like it. But I'm good with numbers. I'm good with money. I can tell you that much. I know how to add. I know how to add and multiply. And divide. Don't tell me how to do anything else. I'm not that good at it. Don't tell me what 9 times 9 is. I might get it wrong. But I know how to multiply. I know how to multiply my cash. 9 plus 10, 21. 21, that's what 9 plus 10 is. So, again, if I could do it, this gives you... Adrian already knows he's the fucking smartest person in this chat right now. Motherfucker's a surgeon. Yo, Adrian, if I could fucking do it, you could do it. You know what I'm saying? And this goes for everybody. If I could do it, a regular ass person, yo, so could you. And this is why I fuck with Q Banks, because he really showed up. He really did it. A guy working at Target fucking was able to do it too. Some guy working at retail did this shit. A bum working at fucking Target. No, that's mad disrespectful. I didn't mean that. But you get what I'm trying to say. If he could fucking do it, yo, so could you. And that's the motivation, you know, again, and that's why I don't like putting myself out there, but I respect people who do it, and that's why, again, like, I always have respect for Q. Like, if it wasn't for Q posting his come up and posting those pictures of him, you know, after work from Target with his Target shirt on, looking like a nerd, you know, it wouldn't have given me the motivation to continue to do it. But once you see people in your situation get out of the same situation that you're in and do something better for themselves, it gives you the motivation, and it gives you the, what's the word I'm looking for? Long story short, it gives you the motivation to know that you could do it too. You just got to put in the time the same way that they did it. And again, it's not about how long it took them and how long it took you. Everybody's journey is different. Something that, again, is the same thing when you're in school. In school, you have a student that's right next to you that understands the math equation as soon as the teacher is teaching it. But for me, it took me fucking 7 years to understand that 5 times 5 is just keep adding 5 to the numbers, right? 5 times 5 is 25, plus 5 is 30. That's what 5 times 6 is. And then 5 times 7 is 35. You just add 5. And it keeps going and going and going. Right? So, I studied Q and we both stutter. I knew I could do it too. Alright, yo. So, AUD-USD right now on the 4-hour time frame, we're still making higher highs and higher lows. And why was this important? Why? Because when you go look at other traders, I don't want to really call anybody out, but I'm going to do it anyways, because it's good to call out other people. And I'm not saying anything bad about them. I'm not saying anything bad. Again, it's just putting it in perspective. It's just so you guys can see the biggest difference between different traders and how you approach different markets, right? But if you go and you study FX Alex G, he's really big on shoulder head shoulders, as a lot of traders are. But I only know of FX Alex G, and I know of him because, again, I did his course. I watched some of his videos. I learned about the shoulder head shoulder from Alex. However, the way he approaches the shoulder head shoulder was something that I didn't see eye to eye with. A person like him is going to see a shoulder head shoulder and take that short position as soon as he sees it. As soon as he sees it. And again, you could go back to his Twitter, his Instagram page, go back to the NZD USD trades that he took in the beginning of the year, or like mid-year, or I think it was NZD. It was one of the NZD pairs. I don't remember. I think it was NZD USD if I'm not mistaken. And a shoulder head shoulder printed and straight to stop loss. Why? Because all he's looking for is a shoulder head shoulder. He's not waiting for the break of the shoulder. He's getting into the trade as soon as he sees that shoulder head shoulder. If he goes into if it's a 4 hour and he goes into the internal and he looks for whatever it is that he looks for on the internal, so he's getting it. Right? Not understanding that, yes, even though price printed a shoulder head shoulder, a downtrend shoulder head shoulder, where was this shoulder head shoulder printed? Right? We understand that this shoulder head shoulder was printed at a higher low. So understanding that the market just gave us a shoulder head shoulder at a higher low, does this mean that the market makers are highly probable to trap these traders going short to take price from a higher low back up into the higher high? Or are they going to respect the shoulder head shoulder and start going lower? right? Now, understandably so, we also understand the market makers could do whatever they want. If the market makers want to take this price all the way to the bottom and just tank, it could do that. However, the biggest difference is understanding high probability versus low probability. Meaning, if you go back in time, you could do that on the charts. I'm not telling you guys like we're back in the future and we're in a movie and you got to go get a time travel machine to go back in the future. All you got to do is move left. Look how much data you have just on the 4-hour time frame. Just look, I only scrolled 2 times. Look at the year that we're in. In 2023, I'm in the past. I'm traveling back in time. Right? I don't pay for TradingView because that shit is stupid to me. You keep going back. We're back at 2022. Right? This is what back testing is. And this is why I always say it. Back testing is what you need to do. Back test as much as you can. Because if you see that this happened in the past multiple times, you know it's going to happen in the future. Right? And just in this little piece in 2022, right? What happened? Boom, a shoulder head shoulder. It went down. Why? What is price doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Where was the shoulder head shoulder printed? Again, we could zoom in for the people who can't see it. Right? Shoulder, price moving sideways, the head, shoulder, price moving sideways and going down. Right? Why is this shoulder head shoulder high probability? Because price is making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. On the lower high, it gave you a shoulder head shoulder. At a lower high, what are you looking for? You're looking for the lower low. Right? In the continuation, if you zoom in, what did price give you? A shoulder, a head, and a shoulder. And it continued the trend, the break, the retest to continue. Right? Let's keep going. I'll give you guys more examples. Right? Boom. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Right? Why didn't this shoulder, head, shoulder work? You went straight to stop loss. Why? Because price went from lower low, lower high, lower low, back to higher high, higher low. You took a trade. Right? Higher high, higher low. You took a shoulder, head, shoulder. At a higher low, what do you think is going to happen? You think price is going to go from a higher low into a lower low? No. Price is going to go from a higher low back up into a higher high. Let's keep going. Let's look for more. Let's look for more. Right? Boom. Another shoulder, head, shoulder. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Where? At an external, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Boom. At the lower high, what did it give you? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Boom. Continuation. Cool. And then it continued. Right, all the way down to the bottom. Right, so again, the reason I want to go back is to show you guys, again, you're always going to see shoulder head shoulders. You're always going to see double bottoms. You're always going to see double tops. You're always going to see engulfing candles, bearish and bullish. You're always going to see flag post patterns. Right, is the same thing. Like if this were to be a bearish flag post pattern instead of a shoulder head shoulder, will I be taking that trade? No. Because that bearish movement that we're seeing on the internal time frame, is it lining up with the overall trend? And is not. A shoulder head shoulder was just printed at a higher low. A bearish shoulder head shoulder was just printed at a higher low. Why would I be expecting price at a higher low to go and make a lower low? Again, it's very simple. You go online, go to YouTube, just look up market structure on YouTube. What are they going to teach you? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Right? Lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows, lower. It's that simple. It's really that simple. So again, why would I be looking for a short position on a pair that's currently still making higher highs and higher lows? So the understanding that, okay, yes, even though my entry strategy is being shown on the charts, I can't take this trade because market structure is telling me something completely different. So now I already know that this is an area in the market where the market makers are just inducing traders to get into a trade to hunt for stop losses. I already know that. If you already know that this is the area where the market makers are trapping traders, are you going to either A, take the trade and say fuck it, or would you rather say I'm not going to take the trade and I'm gonna wait for the trend to turn around to start making lower lows and lower highs, and that's when I'll start looking to take the trade? right? And you guys don't have to answer that in the chat. I'm just giving you guys the answer so you guys can internalize it and be like, you know what, that makes sense. That's why I closed out of US oil early. We'll go over it. I haven't seen the chart yet, so I still have no clue what you were talking about. But once we get to that pair, I'll go over it. Right, so I hope that makes sense. So right now for AUD USD, currently I am still waiting for price to turn around. Once we start making lower lows and lower highs on the daily time frame, on the 4-hour time frame, once we see that change and that break on the 4-hour, that gives us the confirmation that the trend has shifted from an uptrend down to a downtrend. That's when I'm going to start looking to take those trades. Right? And it's exactly what we see here on the 30-minute time frame. Right? You had the change, you had the break, which again, the break didn't happen here. These were still testing candles. The break happened all the way down here. So all the traders who are currently, if you took these lower highs into a lower low and you cashed out, perfect. But if you thought that price was going to give you a lower low down here and you held these trades, let's say from Thursday going into Friday, and you didn't cash out of your trades once you started seeing that price started consolidating, you went straight to stop loss or you went straight to break even. Right? Because again, yes, even though the 30-minute is giving you lower lows and lower highs, understanding that price was still at a higher low, right? Understand that the push that price gave us from these highs to these lows was just price moving from an external higher high going into a higher low. When price goes from higher high to higher low, what is price doing? Price is moving down, right? Whenever price is going higher high, higher low, what is price doing? It's moving down, right? It gives you a higher high, it gives you a higher low. Price is moving down. So those 30-minute lower lows and lower highs that you see is just priced on the daily. It's just priced on the 4-hour time frame, going from a higher high point down into a higher low. And this is why these entries going short were low probability. These continuation trades going to the bottom were low probability because price was just moving from a higher high into a higher low. Again, let me know if I'm losing you guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know it's going to be a lot of information today. I'm telling you guys. I'm telling you guys that right now. If you guys have any questions, feel free to let me know. Again, this trading, the reason I'm here is to help you guys out, to understand this. I'm not a high school teacher. We're not a, I'm not a student sitting next to you in high school and I'm going to make fun of you for asking a question. None of that. Right? We're here to help each other. The same question you have, somebody else may have that same question and might be too scared to ask the question. So again, feel free to ask any questions at all if something I'm saying doesn't make any sense. Because again, to me, this is crystal clear, right? The same way that Miss Green, my math teacher for Algebra 1, thought that she was speaking in fluent English, but she was fucking speaking Chinese to me when she was talking about math. I didn't know what the hell she was talking about. Y equals mx plus b. MX? Motocross? That's the only thing I know about MX. I didn't know that MX was in a math equation. The hell do we get letters in math? I don't know. I still don't know. I'm lying. Y equals mx plus b is as a slope-intercept form. Do I know how to do it? No. But you can see the trauma. Like, this is something that I tried learning, and I don't understand it. I'm not Albert Einstein, bro. I'm sorry. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't use YMX plus B every day in my life. I still to this day, I'm 24. I learned this when I was 15. It's about to be 10 years, and I've never heard somebody in real life talk about Y equals MX plus B ever in my life. But for some reason, instead of learning about taxes, we learn about the slope-intercept form. So I don't know, man. Maybe I'm crazy, but you know what I mean? So if I'm speaking Chinese on the charts, let me know and I'll try to explain it in English or in Spanish. I speak Spanish too. And it might not be that good in Spanish, but I'll try my best. And Portuguese too. If you guys need me to speak a little bit of Portuguese, let me know. That's, I could do that. No problem. So right now for AU, on the 30-minute, we're making higher highs, higher lows. We have 2 days of rise. All the EMAs are looking up. This is not a pair where I'm expecting price to go down yet. Again, AU is a pair I'm still expecting a steeper lower high to be made. which is going to be up here where this 30-minute gap is at. And again, as of right now, it looks like price wants to give us a higher lower high point. If price decides to do that, then perfect. Well, let price do what it has to do. We've been waiting since April. It's November. I'm in no rush. As soon as price gives me that lower high point, understand that we are taking all of those trades from the top right back down to the bottom. Every continuation trade that we could take, the same thing you guys saw E do with AUD USD in the beginning of the year. In the beginning of the year, right? Boom. Where'd the E take his trades? These lower low points, where price gave you the internal lower low, lower high, back into a lower low. This is where he took those trades. And it was what, 5-6 days straight of just taking trades? So again, as soon as price gives me that lower high, understand that we're taking all those trades. But I'm not married to one pair. Another reason why I'm so patient on the charts is because we have, just count how many pairs we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We have 16 pairs to look at. I'm not married to one pair. Because if this pair is just consolidating, what am I going to trade? In a zone of consolidation? What's a zone of consolidation? We understand a zone of consolidation is an area in the market where the market makers are trapping traders, inducing traders to get into a trade to hunt for stop losses. So once you already understand the definition of what a zone of consolidation is, why would you trade a zone of consolidation without the proper entries? Whether it's a break or whether it's an inducement. Anything else you're trading in a zone of consolidation, if you're trading in the middle of the zone of consolidation, you know you're going to get hit. You know your stop loss is going to get hit. So again, I'm not married to one pair. I treat and trade every single pair the exact same way. I learned something very early on in my trading career. The trend is your friend. If the fucking pair is not trending, I'm not trading. Put that on a t-shirt. The trend is your friend. If a specific pair is not trending, I'm not trading. It's that simple. If we're in a zone of consolidation, I'm either waiting for price to break the zone of consolidation, or I'm waiting for price to give me an inducement of the zone of consolidation to then take the trades after the inducement to then continue. And that ties down to the US 30 trade from this morning. Right, so I hope that makes sense. Again, guys, if you have any questions, let me know. Right, and AU is always a pair that I will continue to break down step by step because AU moves beautifully. When AU starts moving, and the reason I love trading AU, let's go back to it so you guys could understand the mathematical reason as to why I like trading AU. AU is a slow moving pair. Not only is it a slow moving pair, but it's a pair that moves 46 pips on average on a day-to-day basis. So I understand that if I trade AUD USD, again, you guys will see my stop loss on US 30, and US 30 is a big pair, a pair that moves hundreds of pips a day. Right? AUD USD, you catch a trade on the 5-minute, you catch a trade on the 1-minute time frame. You're looking at a 2, 3, 4, 5 pip stop loss with a 30 pip TP. You guys do the math. A 5 pip stop loss with a 30 pip TP. What's the RR to that? What's the risk to reward of that? You guys see what I'm saying? AUD USD is a good moving pair, especially for beginner traders. The 6RR, exactly. And that's a brag, but that's what I caught on US 30. And US 30, you know, shout out US 30 and gold, bro. This year, US 30 and gold really, you know, it set the mood, it set the vibe for the year. Especially in the beginning of the year with gold and US 30. Shout out to gold and US 30. Right? So again, I'm not married to one single pair. I don't believe in what people say online that, oh, you should only be looking at one pair. I think that's bogus. I think that's completely, not to sound mean, but I think it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Because again, the trend is your friend. Not every single day is that specific pair going to be trending. Some days is going to be consolidating. Some weeks is going to be consolidating. Some months it's going to be consolidating. And what are you going to do? But again, This is the reason why I only have one loss for the year. That is the reason why I'm on a 21 win streak for right now. Right, started off the year 20 and 0, and then I took a stupid trade on GCAD, which was in April. And then after April again, I'm on a 21 streak again. So it's, again, a lot of information that you're going to have to learn in trading in order to be able to do that. Now, is that something, a 99, a 96% win rate? Is that something that you need to be profitable? Absolutely not. There's so much more that comes down into it. Risk management, how many trades you're taking, your lot size, are you over trading? Are you emotional when you're on the charts? And that's something that I tweeted today to somebody, because he was like, to say this as well, some person tweeted out, oh, for the traders who don't drink and smoke, how do you get through a rough day of trading, a stressful day of trading? And the reality is, when trading is your career and you're really doing it full time, trading isn't stressful. It's just another day in the office. That's just really what it is. There's nothing stressful about trading because you're following your rules. You're following your rules. If you're following a set of rules every single day, and we're speaking about trading. We're not speaking about you're in an office taking phone calls and you have customers yelling at you. That's what makes your day stressful. Eliminate the customers for the people who are in customer-based or client-based services, right? Remove that. If it wasn't for the customers, if you just show up to work and you did what you had to do and you clock out, was your day stressful? No, it wasn't stressful because you didn't have to deal with nobody. It may be boring, which is what trading is. Trading isn't stressful. Trading is boring. And that's what I tweeted. I don't drink and smoke because it's stressful. I fucking do it because I'm bored. There's nothing else to do. I'm here looking at my charts, looking at candlesticks print. There's nothing stressful about that. But it's not stressful for me because I know what I'm looking for. I understand my rules. It's the same way when you're taking a math test. If you didn't study for the math test, of course it's going to be stressful. Because you don't know what y equals mx plus b is. You don't know it, so you're going to be stressed out. Right? But if you studied for the test, and you know every answer to the test, was it stressful or was it just boring? It was boring, because taking a test is boring. You had to sit there without your phone, you can't talk to nobody, you're looking at the paper, and you're fucking doing math equations. And for a regular human being, that shit is boring. Unless you're Albert Einstein, again, you love that shit, and you love it. It's not boring for you. Right? Again, trading for me is the exact same way. For me, trading is mad boring, and I've always said this. For me, personally, there's no dopamine in trading. I hold no value to money. I don't trade because I want to see $1 million in my account. Yo, I trade because, number one, I do enjoy it. It's a passion of mine that I've grown to love, but it is boring. But there's nothing stressful about trading. Nothing stressful at all. Gotta update you, change it to a 30-minute BOS. Do I? Lower low, lower high, lower low. Oh, you're right. Wait, I'm tripping out now. Hold on. What am I? 30-minute? We're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. No, you're right. Why was this marked up this way? Did I mark this up maybe as lower low, lower high, lower low? Yeah, right? This is what we had marked up. Maybe I did this wrong. No, hold on. We had lower low, lower high, right? This isn't the lower low, lower high because this is still testing, right? Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low. Then price gave us the change of character here. You're right. My bad. Good catch on that. I wouldn't have noticed that. Right? We had the change of character here where price gave us lower low, higher high, change of character. Then price gave us higher low, and then price gave us higher high over here. Good catch on that. I wouldn't have noticed if you wouldn't have said nothing. right? So now we know we're trading between this higher low here on the 30-minute time frame and this higher high on the 30-minute time frame. So right now for AU, I'm just taking a step back. Let price do what it has to do. Again, for you guys who've been in here since the beginning, you guys already know I don't trade counter trend. Overall for AUD USD, we're on a downtrend. I'm only looking for short positions. Everything else that happens that's not short positions, I'm letting price do what it has to do. I'm letting price move from the lower low going into the lower high. I'm not taking those positions. As soon as price gives me that lower high point, I'm taking those short positions from the lower high into the lower low. Right? So AUD USD, we already know that's a pair that I'm going to just take a step back from. I'll wait it out. As soon as price gives me that lower high, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. So again, guys, any questions about what I just said? Any questions at all? Any specific pairs you guys want me to go over? Let me know. Again, I know we've already been streaming for an hour and I've only done one pair, but I did say it in the beginning of the stream. I feel very motivated today. I don't know why. It's just one of those days, man. You know, it's one of those days where you're on timing. You're just doing everything. So let me know before I go on to the next pair. If you have any questions about what I just talked about, let me know. I'll give you guys a minute in the chat. Right, exactly 1 minute. At the 10-minute mark, we'll start again with AUD CAD. If there's something that I want to speak about, we'll speak about it. If not, we're gonna get through the pairs pretty quickly. Again, the biggest pairs I want to talk about is GU, US 30, and US oil. So all these other pairs, we're gonna go through them fairly quickly, like we did these last couple of days. I gotta talk to you after the class about some marketing stuff. All right, bet. See now. I got a degree in marketing, so I don't know if I could. We gonna talk for free or what? I gotta start charging you, kinda, bro. For real, that ass. Motherfuckers are charging $100 a day to fucking do courses. Like I can't be doing everything for free, bro. Now that's some shit that pissed me off today. I'm not gonna lie. I was in a really bad mood today. I had some fucking designer, and this is why I don't like going on Fiverr. And it's no disrespect to freelancers and contractors, but dude, there's a really big reason why I'm super like picky about who I work with. But like, yo, you can't tell me you're a fucking designer and I give you a red logo and I tell you to design something with the red logo and you make something that the background is red that fucks up how the logo looks. Hello? If you put red on red, you can't see the logo. You just fucked it up. Like, again, man, it's just certain things that just tick me off sometimes. Like, how you putting red on red? And there's times to do it because you've seen designs that are black on black. But what's the difference? The cloth is black, but the logo or the design that you put on the black hoodie, that's if you put a black logo on a black hoodie, what do you need to do to the black logo in order for it to pop on a black hoodie? You either got to put the black letters in bold. The way you print it, if it's embroidery, it's going to be looking a lot better. It's going to look like it's popping out. But if you put white on white, you can't see anything. You're not going to be able to see it. Again, unless you make the letters bold and you do embroidery stitches and then it pops it out. But when you're doing screen printing, right, when you're doing sublimation, you can't put red on red. It just doesn't make sense. That shit just pissed me off today with some designer. He sent it to me, he sent me the files, and I didn't even fucking respond. And I'm not going to. I don't, that shit is crazy. I mean, like, how do you call yourself a designer and you make some bullshit? Like, go, you know, keep learning. I'm not gonna say go learn something else. Keep learning, but understand that I'm not gonna be the puppet, bro. I don't got time for that right now. I got you, man. I was just joking, bro. You're good. That's the only way to do it, is to make an outline on it. But that's not the design and the print that we're going for doesn't allow it to pop out. Right? Again, like I was saying, if you do screen printing, if you do sublimation, it's very difficult to make two of the same colors pop out. Again, unless you outline it. But then again, at that point, you have to alter the logo that you're using. And if that's not the vibe that you're going for, which is not the vibe that I was going for, you can't do that. I don't want to put an outline on it. It's going to be too bold. We already have a square on the Vice logo. I'm not going to put the square bolder than what it is. It's going to look weird. Again, unless that's the design format that you're trying to go for, which again, it's not what I'm going for. So it doesn't make sense to do it. You get what I'm saying? So, but again, this is something that I learned in class. Shout out to my digital media teacher in high school. Shout out to my marketing professors in college. These are some things that you learned. And even though I'm not good at Photoshop or Illustrator, I'm good at doing, regular flyers and banners and stuff like that, little announcements. But when it comes to actually designing and being creative on the artistic side of it, I don't have that vision. I have the vision to be able to draw it and tell you exactly what I need, and I'll be able to tell you if it's good or bad, but I can't do it myself on the computer. And I could. I'm saying I can't do it because I've never learned it. But I'm sure that if I put in the time, I'll be able to learn it. But I don't have the time right now. I need shit done ASAP before Friday, and I'm not going to be able to learn in 4 days. You know what I mean? So, I'm venting a lot today. You see, it is facts. I don't speak to nobody, so I'm literally just venting to you guys. It's crazy. I'm a fucking loner. I should find some friends, huh? I gotta find some friends IRL. I need you to move down here, bro. I'll fucking talk your ear out. Yo, Albert is pissed right now. I'm so sorry, Albert. Alright, AUD cut. We're in A1. Yo, Albert is so pissed off. I already know. Yo, I'm sorry, Albert. It's already 1 in the morning for him. He's like, yo, get this shit fucking going. I'm so sorry, Albert. I don't mind the hot weather. Yeah, you say that now. Until you move here and 11 months out of the year is fucking 100 degrees, humid as fuck. Oh, but you got AC. Yeah, when you're in the house, when you're in the car, I want to be outside. You can't be outside if it's that hot. It's like what I was telling my mom today. Like, if you're hot, you can't take clothing out. You can't walk around naked. And even if you're naked, you're gonna get sunburned. You're gonna be sweating. You're gonna smell like shit. When you're cold, yo, you gotta at least put a sweater on, hoodie on, shirts, layers, socks, gloves, a beanie, a hat, whatever. You could bundle up so you're not that cold and uncomfortable. But when it's hot, you don't have a choice. You're hot. You're not taking your clothes off. Meat swinging around everywhere, you go to jail. You can't do it. It's just not possible. We don't live in that generation no more. Shout out to the cavemen. They did it great. We don't have that luxury anymore. Unless you want to do OF, but that's a different conversation. So AUD cat, and again, I am gonna speed it up. I'm sorry, this is like the 10th time I'm saying this. I'm gonna speed it up, not because I want to get over with this already, but because it is very late for a lot of people, and I do understand that. And again, I'm so sorry for already being live for an hour and only doing one pair, but dropping a lot of gems today. So AUD CAD, we are in A1 on a downtrend overall. We have push number 1, first zone of consolidation, where we can see price rejecting highs, lows, highs, lows, highs, lows, coming back up to the top. Right, coming back to the top, what is price doing? Just consolidating. We have no continuations. We wanted to see how this daily candle printed for the month, and we ended up on a no net. Right, so we have no continuations on AUD CAD on the daily time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, we're trading between the same 4-hour high and 4-hour low as the daily time frame, and we can see that price is just moving sideways here, where we're rejecting highs, lows, back to the highs, and then going back down to the middle. No continuations at this point on AUD CAD. Price is just moving sideways. You look at the 30-minute time frame, right? 30-minute overall, we know that we were trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and then price gave us a change of character, higher high, and we're trading between that low that was created and then the higher high that was created, and then price just started really moving sideways. But in this sideways movement, right, we could kind of say, well, we're still on a downtrend, yes, because price is making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, but understanding that we're trading between a higher low, higher high. So these lower lows that we're seeing is just price moving from a higher high going down into a higher low, right? So all the traders, again, goes back into your entry strategy rules and market structure. Even though we had one of our entry strategies, which is a 372, which is a 3-day continuation down to the bottom, even though we could see price making lower low, lower high, lower low, and it would have made sense for price to give us a lower high here to make into a lower low, price decided to give us this lower low on the internal time frame back into a push to the top side, trapping all the traders who thought that this was, again, if you go back into SRC, which is the smart Raja concepts, right? Raja Banks's break and retest of a zone of consolidation to continue, right? All the traders who took these trades thinking that this was going to be a break, a retest to then continue going short, you got stopped out. All the traders who thought that this was lower low, lower high, lower low, and this was going to be a lower high at the end of London going into NYC, and all the traders who thought that this was an internal, oh look, lower low, lower high, lower low, we're going to continue to go short, you went straight to stop loss. Why? Because again, you took a trade going short, you took a short position in an area where price was going higher high, higher low. So we already understood, yes, even though we have 2 days of drop, why am I not expecting this third day push? Is because we're still on an uptrend. This was price just giving us a higher low point, right? So we already understood AUD CAD, even though an entry strategy is being present, it's still low probability because I cannot take a short position when price is uptrending. The same way that I can't take a long position when price is downtrending is the exact same thing. So we go on to the next pair. There's nothing to trade on AUD CAD. The trend is my friend. If I'm not trending, I'm not trading. Put that shit on a t-shirt, bro. I'm telling you. I'm not gonna lie. I might need to take a minute to go grab some water because I'm already losing my voice here. We'll go over EA here and then I'm gonna go grab a cup of water. So EA, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. Overall market makers pattern, we are in an uptrend. Right, we had the double bottom, we had push number 1, first zone of consolidation, push number 2, second zone of consolidation, and we're currently in push number 3 and we're expecting price to reach our previous peak highs, which were at these highs over here. Right, once price on the daily time frame and the 4-hour time frame gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, what did price give us? Higher low, and then started moving sideways. So right now, Euro AUD, we know we're stuck in a zone of consolidation. Right? And if we zoom in, we can see where that's at. Rejected the lows, rejected the highs, rejected the lows, rejected the highs, rejected the lows, went to the middle, went back to the lows, rejected the lows, went back to the highs, rejected the highs again, came back to the lows, rejected the lows again, and price is going back to the top side. 4-hour time frame, we could see it a little bit better. Right? And I hate that the session breaks on the 4-hour show up like this, but it's all good. If it's hard to see, just let me know and I'll turn them off. Right? But we can see where price is moving sideways here, where price is rejecting lows, highs, lows, highs, lows to the middle, lows to the high, lows again. Back up to the middles here. Right? We have no continuation. Price is just moving sideways. Right? Price gave you a change of character, higher high, higher low. It gave you the break of structure, higher high, higher low retest. It gave you the high, the higher high. Then what happened? Price came down, gave you a change of character, back down to the bottom, lower low. Right? Once again, the trend is your friend. Are we trending on Euro AUD? No. Price is consolidating. So I am not going to be looking for entries on Euro AUD. It's that simple. It's really that simple. Alright, let me go grab some water real quick, guys. I'll be right back. I'm so sorry. I'm going to take a minute here. I'm going to just run to the kitchen and I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back, team. My bad. Had to turn the AC on too, because doing this session, having my PC on, even though it's cold outside, is hot as shit in my room. So, and I don't know about you guys, but I can't go to sleep when it's hot. So, gotta make sure I got the house a little cool before I go to bed. Alright, we ready to go again, guys? Let me know. Again, make sure you guys are taking notes, especially for the new people here. You know, it says we got 7 people in here. So, if you guys are new, again, ask questions. If you have no questions, you know, at least take some notes. Make sure you guys are understanding or trying to understand exactly what it is that we're talking about. So, EURUSD, right now we are in previous peak high territory, right? When we're looking at the market maker's pattern, where we're at, how price is reacting, what price is doing, how the EMAs are looking. At this moment, not only are we in previous peak highs, but currently, sorry, my mom just texted me. Give me 1 second. My phone was on do not disturb, so. Sorry, give me 1 second. I can't leave my mom on. Mom was just showing me the weather in Miami. She took a picture of her, the temperature in the car. It's 64 in Miami. I'm like, yo, it's 54 over here, so. And she's not good with the cold, you know. She's a Caribbean lady, so. Once the weather gets to 70 in Miami, right, she's freezing. Hey, get me out of here. It's too cold. Like, all right, lady, chill out. It's not cold at all. But 60, yeah, 60 in Miami is different. I don't know what it is, but 60 in Miami feels like it's 30 for some reason. So, EURUSD, not only are we in previous peak highs, but we currently are in present time peak high territory, right? Not only that, we know that price is at a higher high. So again, I'm attacking ECAD the same way that I was attacking ECAD in July. We made a higher high. If price goes down and gives us a higher low, and it starts giving us the change of character and it gives us the BOS on the internal time frame, we know we could take those trades back up to the new higher highs. Same thing, higher high, higher low. If it gives us the change and it gives us a break, we know we're going to continue back into the higher high. Same thing, higher low, higher high. What am I looking for? I'm looking for a higher low. Right? If price gives us a higher low, which in this case we could already see on the 4-hour time frame, and we'll turn off the session breaks here so it's a little bit more clear. Right? Higher high, higher low, higher high. What did price do? It gave us an inducement, lower low point, but it is an inducement. It never gave us a valid break of these lows. So we still understand, okay, cool. After an inducement, we want to see price continue to push to the top side. So after the inducement, what am I looking for? I'm looking for the change of character, which we ended up getting, right? We had the change of character, higher high, higher low, and it gave us the break of structure, higher high. So what were we looking for? After the higher low, or I'm sorry, after the higher high is set, we're looking for a higher low. Did price give us a valid higher low? No. Price, as soon as it gave us a higher high, price melted all the way back down to the bottom. At any point when price was pushing down, right? At any point did price start making internal higher highs and higher lows? No. Lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, equal high, lower low. Price was always downtrending. So at no point has price given us a higher low point. At no point. And instead it went down and gave us a change of character, which will change that here. 30-minute change of character. Where are you? Over here. And it gave us a lower low. So right now for EURUSD, it's another pair very similar to what we were talking about on the previous pair. Even though we had 3 days of rise, and on the 3rd day it gave us a rise drop, even though we had an entry strategy which is a 4th-day variation back to the top side. Why am I not taking this trade back to the top side? Because price never gave me a valid indication on market structure, how price is printing and how price is moving. Price is still giving us lower lows and lower highs. So why would I take a long position? Just because price gave me 3 days of rise. There's no point. There's no point. Price still hasn't given me the confirmation that we're going to continue to push to the top side. And it didn't. It went down. If you took any long positions today, you went straight to stop loss. Right? So that's what we're going to be waiting for. As soon as price starts giving us higher highs and higher lows again, that's when I'll start looking to take a trade. Right now, we could skip over, go to the next pair. Daily time frame on EURUSD. Where are we? Very similar to GU. You guys will see that a little bit later on. Right? EU, we are in level 2 on an uptrend. We had push number 1, first zone of consolidation where price is moving sideways. And then price gave us the break of structure of the zone of consolidation that gave us higher high, higher low. Back to where we're at now, where price gave us the higher high and just started moving sideways. Right? So right now, we have sideways movement on EURUSD. That's already one indication letting me know, hey, stay away from these trades. Once again, the trend is your friend. If there's no trend, there's no trade. Put it on a t-shirt. Put it on a t-shirt. 4-hour time frame, we're still trading higher high, higher low, higher high. We're still looking for a higher low to be set. Right? Oh, look, price gave us a higher high, higher low, double bottom. I'm going to continue to take these. I'm going to take the double bottom. Once it gives us the break of the neckline, this is where I'm going to take the trade to go back up straight to stop loss. Why? Because price is giving you lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Understanding that I'm trading between this lower low and this lower high. Why would I take a long position when price is here? You guys see what I'm saying? It's the same thing with every single pair, guys. It's the same thing. It doesn't matter what you trade. You guys could trade shoulder head shoulders. You guys could trade double bottoms, double tops, flag post patterns, harmonic patterns, liquidity sweeps, order blocks, icy, whatever the fuck, turtle soup, whatever you want to trade, VWAP, fucking EMAs. It's all the same thing. It all connects to market structure. You took a double bottom entry when price is still making lower lows and lower highs. What do you think is going to happen? You're at the casino. If you take a double bottom entry when price is downtrending, if you take a W formation, which in the chart, the W formation is supposed to be an uptrend, right? If you take an uptrend confirmation, right, when price is still making lower lows and lower highs, what do you think is going to happen? You're going to go straight to stop loss every single time. It doesn't matter. Fucking 90% of the time, you're going to go straight into stop loss. And again, the big reason why I've only taken one loss this year is because market structure is king. I'm not going to get faked out. The market makers are faking everybody out. Not me. I'm good. Trust me, I'm good. I've done my back testing. I've done my forward testing. Why would I take a double bottom confirmation when price is still making lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high? We already know that the break of the neckline is just an inducement to do what? To trap all the traders who thought that this was going to be a retest to continue to push to the top side. And what happened? Straight to stop loss. It made you happy for a few hours. Oh my God, I'm going to hold this trade to the top of the 30-minute gap. I'm going to hold this trade back to the higher highs. Because we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high. This is the higher low and we're going to make another higher high. I'm going to cash out. Yeah, you're going to cash out. You're going to go right back to the bank to deposit some cash so you can go buy another prop firm account. That's what you're going to go do. Guaranteed that's what you're going to go do. Right? So again, it's very simple. It's very, very simple. All I'm looking for on EU right now is for price to give me a set higher low. And right now, what is price doing? Still giving us lower lows and lower highs. So I'm not going to be trading EURUSD right now. I'm going to be super, super patient. And very similar to the other pair that we just saw. Yes, even though on the 30-minute we have the change of character and we have the break of structure, we have so many other confirmations here that's letting us know that these trades going back to the top side are low probability. On the 30-minute time frame specifically, we have the 800 EMA. We know that price respects the 800 EMA. Did price break above the 800? No. Price is respecting the 800 EMA. Tapped into the 800, respected it, came back down. Tapped into the 800, respected it, came back down. Not only that, A day like today, to trade going back to the top side, what do we know about the rules in our rule book? We have 3 days of rise: Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. After 3 days of rise, what must the market do? The market must either move sideways or go down. And what did the market makers do today? They moved sideways. So again, if you already understand the rules that you're trading, if you already understand after 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, are you going to take the chance to take another long position? Or would you rather wait for a little bit more confirmation before you take a trade? Right? You're gonna wait. That's it. If you know that a zone of consolidation where price is moving sideways is an area where the market makers are trapping traders, inducing traders to get into a trade to hit their stop losses, are you going to continue to trade zones of consolidation? If you know that after 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down, are you going to take that trade going back to the top side, or are you going to wait? If you know that after 3 days of drop, same thing, after 3 days of drop, the market must move sideways or go up, on the 4th day, are you going to take that trade going down, or are you just going to wait for more confirmation? If you know that the stove is on and is hot, and there's fire on the stove, are you going to touch the stove? Or are you going to wait until you turn off the stove and then you let it cool down and then you could touch the stove? Right? Then you could clean the stove top. It's the same way. If you know there's a shark in the ocean and the lifeguards are telling you there's red flags out at the beach and the lifeguards are telling you, hey, there's sharks in the water, are you going to jump in the ocean, or are you going to wait until the lifeguard tells you that the sharks are no longer in the water or no longer in the shoreline? You're going to wait until the sharks aren't in the shoreline. It's the same way in trading. If you know that you're in an area where you're most likely going to get trapped and your stop losses are going to get hit, are you going to continue to trade in that area, or are you going to wait until that area is done and then you start looking for the trend again? It's the same way in trading. Like, there's no way I can make that make sense more than what I've tried to do in the last 3 years here on stream. Rules for 200 EMA, what do you mean? Same rules for the 50 EMA. Level 2, you're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. Jump in the water, the sharks, I'll beat y'all's ass. Alright. Alright, Tarzan. Shit, I'm not jumping in that water, I can tell you that much. I don't even jump in that water with the flaggers telling me that the fucking ocean is good. I'm good. I'm not getting in that water. I'll let you guys rock. Crazy, bro. I went to DR, motherfuckers were jumping out of the boat in the middle of the ocean. They were like, yo, come on. Like, nah, I'm staying in the boat. You guys are fucking freaky. Freaky ass frogs, bro. I'm good. I don't play with death like that. I'm good. You know, I got a beautiful life ahead of me, bro. I'm not doing that. Not only that, I'm not a good swimmer, bro. I'm a in-body home, bro. I'm not doing that. People jumping out of planes and fucking skydiving and jumping off cliffs and like, nah. Listen, I'm good. Right now at this moment in my life, there's a few things I gotta take care of before I do any of that crazy shit. I would love to, don't get me wrong, I would love to skydive, I would love to paraglide and jump off of cliffs and do all this crazy stuff. Not right now though, bro. Give me a couple more years. I got a few things I gotta take care of before I put my life at risk like that. Yeah, I don't plan on having kids, but that's another thing. Like, yo, you got kids at home, your ass is fucking doing this crazy stuff. Like, yo, one wrong move and you're done. I'm good, bro. You know, I'll take my chances with my day-to-day, you know, lifestyle. Because anything could happen at any point of the day. That's an ignorant thing to say, but, you know, anything could happen. You could be walking, you could be fucking, all of a sudden a lightning strike hits your head and you're done. You know, you could be driving on a Monday to work and fucking a Hyundai crashes into you and you done for. You know what I mean? You could get rear-ended. Crazy shit. You could trip and fall and, you know, anything could happen at any point. When it's your time, it's your time, but I'm not putting my life at risk with some other crazy shit. You know what I mean? Like, there's levels and there's things that you gotta, at least in my perspective of life, there's some things you gotta respect. Like, yo, you know, walking at fucking 1 in the morning, you know you're gonna get jumped. There's a fucking 80% chance it's gonna happen. It might not happen, but I learned my lesson. I know I never walked again at fucking 10 p.m. That was a hard ass lesson I had to learn. I should have listened to my parents. Yo, don't be going walking at fucking nighttime. I didn't listen to them, man. I learned the hard way, man. So I'm good, bro. I'm not jumping in no water with no sharks, bro. I'm not jumping in that fucking ocean. I'm good. Sun goes down, I'm home. I'm not fucking. I'm not trapping for that shit again. Same thing with the stove, yo. You know how many times I burnt my hand in the stove when I was younger? So many times. But I learned my lesson. Same thing with trading. How many losses I done take in the charts? I learned my lesson. That's it. I don't have to take losses for fucking 4 years straight for me to learn my lesson. All it took was every individual loss. Every individual loss taught me a lesson in the charts. GA, we're in peak high territory on an uptrend, right? We have push 1, first zone, push 2, second zone, push number 3 into previous peak highs. Right now for GA, I'm hands off until we create our first zone of consolidation and until we start that downtrend push. Right now for GA, I'm hands off. I'm not really trading GA. We're on a downtrend on the 4-hour. Daily, we're still on an uptrend. 30-minute, we're on a downtrend. We have no continuations. We still got this gap at the top of the market. You know, could price continue higher and give us a lower high here? Again, 30-minute, we're trading lower low, lower high, lower low. At this moment, I'm just looking for a lower high point to be set. We still have these gaps at the top of the market. GA, like I said, I'm pretty much hands off, so I'm not really going to be trading this. We're just going to keep this updated. There's really nothing to update here. GCAD, and again, guys, I'm speeding it up. We've already been streaming for an hour and 45, so we'll speed this up already. So GCAD, we are in level 3 on an uptrend. We have push number 1, first zone, push number 2, second zone, push number 3, and push number 3. Price decided to give us higher high, higher low, and just kind of move sideways. But in this sideways movement, very similar to that earlier pair that we were talking about, we could still see higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. All we're looking for is a higher low point to be set in order for us to continue that push back from the higher low point up into the higher high, right? After the higher high was set, obviously we could start seeing price making lower lows and lower highs, because price, when it goes from a higher high into a higher low, is downtrending, right? And that's what we see on the 30-minute. Our 30-minute zones for GCAD are very big, right? We know that we were trading this higher high and then price came down, swift movement down to the bottom into this lower low change of character, and we're trading between this 30-minute low and these 30-minute highs here at the top side. Again, very similar to the other pairs. Even though we had 3 days of rise and on the 3rd day it gave us a rise drop, you know, we could be expecting a 4th day variation back to the top side. But understanding that we're still trading lower low, lower high, then price gave us this lower low and it gave us a lower high, we understand also with the EMAs, 800 EMA, price respects the 800 EMA, we never broke above it. That was another confirmation to let us know that price is not ready to continue to push to the top side. Not yet. So again, that's why we see price doing what it did now. Sideways movement today, right? And it actually finished on a very slight day of drop, but it did finish on a drop. So nothing really to trade on GCAD for right now. GJ. Yo, Kendall, you said you had a question on GJ too, no? What was that question if there was a I think you said GJ too, right? GJ, we're still on an uptrend. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. On the move from the higher low into the higher high, price decided to just give us sideways movement. On the sideways movement, it finally gave us the break. It gave us the higher high. It gave us the higher low. The only thing I didn't like about GJ is the fact that we still had this gap at the bottom of the market. I would have loved to have seen price fill this gap to create that higher low like I had drawn out here, to then continue to look for the higher highs back to the top side. It missed the gap by a few pips and it decided to start moving, and that's okay, right? It's completely okay. But right now for GJ, price is still making lower low, lower high, and lower low. So right now, I'm hands off. If we get a change of character, if we get the break of structure, and we continue to push to the top side, that's when I'll start looking to take the trades. So right now for GCAD, I need to see that 30-minute change, and I need to see the 30-minute break after the change. That's when I'll start looking to take these trades. Right now, GJ, I'm hands off. Not going to be trading GJ for right now. Finna join Cord. Yeah, you're going to have to, if it's going to be in Cord, we're going to have to wait till after the stream, because I'm not going to be here for another 2 hours, bro. No way. For GU, yeah, nah, I'm not doing that Cord shit in the streams, bro. There's no way. If it's like a simple question, we could do it on stream real quick. If not, again, we'll just wait till after the stream and I'll join the court. There's no problem. GU, like I was saying earlier, very similar to EU. We are in level 2 on an uptrend. Push number 1, first zone of consolidation. It gave us the break of structure, higher high, higher low. Price gave us a higher high, then just started moving sideways. All I'm looking for on GU now is for price to go from a higher high into a higher low. Now, I wanted to go over GU in detail, right? And you can see, and the reason I wanted to is because I had somebody on my DMs today talking about GU and what they're looking for, and I'm like, yo, like this is gonna make everything super clear. So, first and foremost, daily structure is the green dots that you see here, right? Lower low, lower high, lower low. That turned into the overall uptrend, right? Which is push number 1, first zone of consolidation, into push number 2, right? Into an uptrend. Lower low, boom, change of character, higher high, higher low. Break of structure, higher high, higher low, higher high, right? Then we know price was in a sideways movement, trapping traders. It went down to the bottom of the zone of consolidation, gave us a lower low, then gave us a break of structure of the zone of consolidation, that then price gave us the higher high, then price gave us higher low, then price gave us higher high. So again, all we're looking for right now on the daily time frame, higher high, higher low, higher high, all we're looking for is a higher low point. Now again, where that higher low point is going to be set, that all depends on the market makers. What do they want to do, right? And again, everybody has different trading rules. A lot of people are trading this as a flag post pattern, so they're looking for their fib retracements between 23.6 and 38.2. You have the fib traders who use a golden ratio zone, which is the 50% retracement. You have the people who use the fibs and they're using it as the discount and the premium price, right? And they're waiting for a 78.6, 88.2% retracement. Whatever the case is. You have the EMA traders, level 2, you're looking for price to bounce off the 200 EMA. You have the liquidity traders who are looking for price to just fill liquidity and then continue. You have the support and resistance traders. You have the pattern traders that are, triple bottom. You have all of these traders. But at the end of the day, those are all entry strategy rules. You have to connect it to market structure, right? And the reality is, at the end of the day, a higher low point could be any of those areas of interest, any of those points of interest. But it's about how you dissect the charts to understand which higher low point is the most probable for price to reach to then continue the uptrend push. And again, it's very simple. Once price gave you the retracement between 23.6 and 38.2, which was down here, did price start making higher highs and higher lows? Or did it continue the downtrend push? Right? At this point, you would think, oh yeah, it went to the top side. But no. All it gave you was a little change of character. A change of character could still be an inducement. And that's exactly what it was. It was an inducement to trap all the traders thinking that this is where price was going to continue to push to the top side, to go right back down and hit your stop loss or hit your break even. Right? All the traders who are trading this thinking that this is going to be a 50% retracement. Same exact thing. We'll add our fibs. It's very simple. I don't need to add these fibs. I already see this before I even add it. Right? We haven't reached the 50 just yet. But there's a lot of traders who are currently in these trades. A whole bunch of traders who are getting into these trades early, like, oh, this has to be the higher low point. Right? Understand that you need to wait for price to turn around. And what is price still doing? You go into the 4-hour time frame. Let's turn off the session breaks. 4-hour time frame, the structure is the blue circles. Higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. Once the higher high was set, what did price start doing? Lower low, lower high, lower low. So we understand that price is still on a pullback. Price on the daily time frame just gave us a higher high. All we're looking for is for a higher low point to be set. In order for price to go from a higher high into a higher low on the daily time frame, the internal time frames, right, the 4-hour, the 30-minute, is going to be downtrending. Because again, price going from a higher high into a higher low is downtrend movement. Right? So on the 4-hour, we're still making change of character, lower low, lower high. And it just gave us a break of structure down into the lower low. Right? So we already understand right now, these uptrend movements are very low probability. These uptrend movements are low probability because we're still on a downtrend. We're making lower lows and lower highs. On the 30-minute time frame, right? What is price doing? Let's turn on our session breaks again. Price gave us lower low, lower high, lower low, change of character, higher high. It gave us a little higher low, and price is still giving us a higher high up here. And what did price give us previously? 3 days of rise. After 3 days of rise, the market must move sideways or go down. In this case, price ended up giving us still another day of rise, and that's okay. And there's reasons for this. The number one thing, beginning of the week, we had a gap in the market. Very small gap, but we have a gap in the market. Gaps in the market reset the trend. What does that mean? Price could continue the trend. 3 days of rise, but we had a gap in the market. It resets the trend. So technically, this is only 1 day of rise, right? So again, this is still a pair we have to be very careful trading. Internally is going to be trapping traders who don't see the overall picture. This is still a pair that's making lower lows and lower highs. Before I take any trades on GU, I need to make sure that the daily, the 4-hour, and the 30-minute are all uptrending before I take the trade. And right now, we know price is reaching the 800 EMA. What does price do on the 800 EMA? It respects it. Price respects the 800 EMA. So GU is a pair that right now I'm not going to be trading it unless and until price gives us a break above the 800 EMA. Once we break above the 800, that's when I'll start looking to take those trades. Right now for GU, taking a step back. We're going to be patient. All right, these last couple pairs are going to be quick. Right, NZD USD. We are in level 3 on a downtrend, looking for that last and final push back down into the previous peak lows. We had push 1, first zone, push 2, second zone, and now we're looking for push number 3. We still don't have a break of the zone of consolidation, but that's okay. Internal time frame on the 4-hour, we had a zone of consolidation where price gave us a zone of consolidation. It gave us the break, it gave us the retest, it gave us the continuation, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Right, 4-hour time frame, that's what we'll see. We had lower low, lower high, lower low. It gave us 2 weeks of drop. This week being the 3rd week, could we expect price to go lower? We could. But again, the fact that we're trading at a lower low point makes these entries very low probability to continue back down to the bottom. Now, does that mean price isn't going to give us an entry? No. It just means that we have to be extra cautious. Again, it's very similar to what we were talking about the other pairs. Even though we're in an overall downtrend, and even though price gave us 2 days of drop, and we know that after 2 days of drop, the market must move. After 2 days of drop, we're looking for a 372, right? A 3rd day low. Why didn't price give us this 3rd day low? Why was this 3rd day low today? Why was it low probability? Because we're at a lower low. We're at a lower low already. So we know the markets are going to just trap traders, right? And what did price give us? Lower low, lower high, lower low. And today it decided to give us a lower high point. So if we get into the charts tomorrow morning and we see price respecting these highs and we could start seeing lower lows and lower highs, we know we could take these trades back down to the bottom. So NZD USD, we just got to be patient. Just have to be patient. US 30, let's break this down. Alright, and this is why STP is king, man. STP is fucking king. STP is king, yo. 100% of STP, and then price reverses on you every single time, bro. STP is king. If you're not using STP when you're trading with your blindfolds on. And I don't know about you guys, but if I were to trade with blindfolds on, I wouldn't be able to trade. Right? So let's talk about US 30. So daily time frame, US 30. We know we're still on an uptrend. This is still a pair. We're at the highest peak in the market. We're at the highest point in the market. We're at a higher high in the market. It's the number one thing to look at. Right? 4-hour time frame. Where are we? Higher high, higher low, higher high. Where are we here? We're at a higher low. That's the number one thing to look at. We're at a higher low point. Right? So right now on the 4-hour time frame, there's really nothing to talk about. All we know is that we're trading higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Cool. Now, yo, Lewis, yo, Jumper, if you're at a higher low point, why would you take this trade going short? It's very simple. You go down into the 30-minute time frame. Right? What is price doing on the 30-minute time frame? First and foremost, again, we're at a higher high and price is going from a higher high into a higher low. What does that mean? When price goes from a higher high into a higher low, that means price is moving down. So on the 30-minute time frame, you had the change of character, lower low, you had the lower high, you had the break of structure, lower low, you had the lower high, and then you had the final push number 3 that gave you the lower high into a lower low, right? Once this lower high was set, once this lower low was set, price came up and gave us a lower high. Now, why was I looking for short positions in these areas? There's 2 reasons, 3 reasons. The number 1 reason, lower low, lower high. Now, does that mean that I'm going to take this trade on the lower high and I'm targeting lower lows? No. Why? Because of the second reason. The second reason I was looking for shorts in this area was because price opened with a gap in the market. Right? And again, price doesn't always need to fill the gap right away. This gap, if they wouldn't have filled it today, they could fill it tomorrow. They could fill it next week. Again, you see it on the chart. I have gaps at the bottom of the market that were printed, right? These 1-minute gaps that are here on the chart. These are gaps that were printed in October 19th. It's already been a month. You go and you look further into the charts. Do we have any other gaps? Right? We have a gap here at the bottom of the chart here on the 30-minute time frame. Look how far back we are. Yo, what is this? This is like, what the fuck? We were seeing this yesterday. For some reason, I have some random ass entries on my charts. Right? This gap down here was printed in June of this year, and it's still on the chart. This gap down here is still on the chart, and we can see it. Look, you zoom in, there's a gap in the market, right? We have another one down here, right? This gap was made in April, and price still hasn't filled that gap up yet. So again, gaps don't always need to be filled right away on the charts. Sometimes it takes weeks, sometimes it takes months. On some separate pairs, it could take a year, 2 years, but it's a good point of interest to have on the chart because you know that price eventually will have to fill that gap. Now, why was I looking to take this trade? The third and final reason why I was looking to take this trade is because at 9:30 open, what did price give us? It gave us an inducement of the high with this crazy candle to the top side, which ended up going down, and it was an exhaustion candle. Once I saw that exhaustion candle printed, I already knew, perfect, price is going to go down and fill this gap. We already knew that was 100% going to happen today. So now, where was I looking for my entry? The fourth reason why I'm looking for an entry here on the 15-minute time frame. Price gave us a nice engulfing candle, right? And we were going over this yesterday, or I believe on Sunday, right? This engulfing candle, the number 1 thing, it'll open with a gap. Is this a valid engulfing candle? Standard engulfing candle? No, it's not valid because it has a gap. However, US 30, I play with it a little bit different than the other pairs because again, this is a pair that moves very, very fast with a lot of volume. This is a pair that moves 513 pips on a day-to-day basis on average. On average, it moves 513 pips, right? Today, price ended up moving 460 pips. This is a fast-moving pair. A fast-moving pair like GJ, US 30, gold, Bitcoin, oil, right? Pairs that have a big ADR, they tend to open up with gaps in the market, especially during times where there's high volume. US 30 is an NYC pair. From 8:30 till 2 p.m., it's going to have a lot of volume, right? Now, was I looking for my entry on the 15-minute engulfing, on this 15-minute engulfing candle? No. Why? Because again, this is a big pair. This is US 30. I'm not going to place a 170 pip stop loss on US 30. For again, and then our TP is 170 pips from the entry. That's a 1-to-1 trade. I don't take 1-to-1s. It's not worth it to me. Right? So instead of taking the trade on the 15-minute, on the 30-minute, again, we had the confirmation, exhaustion candle, that price was going to go down. That's our first confirmation. I went down into the lower time frame. 5-minute. Load in. What do we see on the 5-minute time frame after the exhaustion candle? Right, after the exhaustion candle on the 5-minute time frame, what do we start seeing? The EMAs. We had the cross of the 50 and the 200 EMA. On top of the fact that we had the cross of the 50 and the 200 EMA, the 50 went below the 200. On the 5-minute time frame, we had an an engulfing candle, right? That was already a strong confirmation for me to take the trade. After the exhaustion candle was printed on the 30, you go to the 5-minute time frame. On the 5-minute time frame, price gave you an engulfing candle and the EMAs are crossing. Perfect. Now, instead of using a 170 pip stop loss on gold, on US 30, it was a 30 pip stop. A 30 pip stop with a 190 pip TP. I'll take that. That's easy. I'm sorry, this was the 1-minute time frame. I was saying the 5-minute, I think, right? I said the 5-minute, I meant the 1-minute. On the 5-minute, I think I skipped over the 5-minute, right? Yeah, I definitely skipped over the 5-minute. On the 5-minute, what do we know about US 30? We're looking for price to bounce off the 50 EMA. On the 5-minute time frame, where were we? We were on the 50 EMA. On the 50 EMA, price was giving us exhaustion candles, right? And this is where I went to the 1-minute, which is where I took the trade. Yeah, I skipped over the 5-minute. That's my bad, right? And then you go to the 1-minute time frame. On the 1-minute time frame, you had an engulfing candle. You had the crosses of the EMAs. That was the entry. Straight down. Zero drawdown. I mean, you guys see it here. My entry was right here at this wick. This red candle wick. My bad. I had a little bit of drawdown. I had a 6.5 pip drawdown on US 30. That's my bad. Straight to TP. And again, what was my take profit? My take profit number 1 was for price to fill the gap. But again, as soon as price went down, it was just straight red candles. So I knew that I was able to just target STP. And STP for the day, STP stands for safe take profit, was 346 pips. Where was my STP at 346 pips? As soon as STP was hit, what did price do? Reversed, went right back to the top side. Right, so it's that simple. Trading is very simple. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You're just following your rules step by step. Did price give you your entry rules? If it did, take it. If it's not following your entries, don't take the trade. We should be done here in the next 10 minutes, guys. This has been a very long session, but I feel like I've given you guys a lot of information. USD CAD, we could just skip right over it. I'm not trading it. You know, if you want to see the explanations for USD CAD, just go to yesterday's session, go to Sunday's session, go to Friday's session. It's going to be the exact same thing. USD CAD, I'm not trading it, so I'm just going to skip over it. This is a pair that currently on daily time frame, it looks like price wants to go down, but then the 4-hour time frame looks like it wants to go up, and then 30-minute time frame, who knows what it wants to do. Right, USDs are very similar to USD CAD. We're just going to skip over it. This is another one that on daily time frame, it looks like it wants to go up. But then you go to the 4-hour and the 30-minute, it looks like price wants to go down. Gold is another pair that I'm taking gold. Same thing I said yesterday about US 30, right? Pairs like US 30 and gold, these are pairs that I'm currently trading on a day-to-day basis. If I wake up and I see something that looks crystal clear, I'm taking it. If I wake up and there's really nothing that looks good, I'm not taking it. Gold is in peak high territory. We're in the highest point in the market. You know, 30-minute, we were trading lower low, lower high, lower low, and we could see exactly what price is doing, just trapping traders. Everybody who thought that this was going to be the area to start taking trades back down to the bottom, you were stuck in a zone of consolidation and then went straight to stop loss. So gold is a pair right now that I'm not going to be trading. I'm going to wait it out, right? My next area to start looking for trades is going to be here at the highs. If price gives us an inducement of the 30-minute and we start making lower lows and lower highs, I'm taking those trades back down to the bottom. If price here at these highs gives us a break and a retest, then we know we could go back to the top side. So gold, there's really nothing to talk about. Bitcoin is another pair that I'm not really trading either. Currently, there's just too much going on in the news, too many factors when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto in general. When it comes to day trading this, you know, once we start trending and once we start really moving and start doing what we have to do, then I'll start taking trades on Bitcoin. Again, as of right now, I'm hands off. And then US oil, you know, to speak on Kendall's pair for the day that he took profit in. For the day, we finished on a day of rise. Um, so let's break this down. So, U.S. oil daily time frame, we know we are in level 2 in a downtrend, right? We had push number 1, first zone consolidation, the start of push number 2 where price gave us lower low, lower high, the break of structure that gave us the lower low down here. Then price gave us a lower high up here, and all we're looking for is for price to go from the lower high back down into the lower low. So we're looking for those continuations back down to the bottom. We have 3 months of drop on the third month, which was last month, gave us a drop no net. So this month I am expecting price to give us a new low. That trade was beautiful, not gonna lie. That gap on USD was really the deciding factor. The gap was the deciding factor, but again, after the gap was made, the biggest thing was that exhaustion candle. If it wasn't for that exhaustion candle being printed, again, the language of the charts is candlesticks. That's just what it is, right? When I'm looking at the charts, right? When I'm speaking to you in English, I'm speaking to you in English, right? I'm speaking to you in English letters, English words, right? In the charts, what's the language of the charts? The language of the charts is candlesticks, right? Candlestick analysis, right? Understanding that the language of the chart, if the chart gives you an exhaustion candle, right, at a lower high, price gives you exhaustion candles. What does that mean? It means price is going to go back down, right? And then you start adding, like what you just said, right? You start adding the pieces together. At this lower high, we had an hour engulfing candle. It gave you exhaustion candle. It gave you the retest of the engulfing candle. Literally, if you took this trade here on US oil, which again, I'll always say it, I'm always upset at myself that I missed this trade on oil, because this was a beautiful entry. I mean, brother, this is zero drawdown. Just think about it. This entry was a 62 pip stop loss, and let's say you held this shit down into the 4-hour lows. That was a 60 pip stop loss for 210 pip TP. I'll always be upset at myself for missing this trade, but that's okay. I'll never say it's a missed opportunity on the charts, because this entry wasn't for me. But it's the same thing that we're always talking about, right? Candlestick analysis is the language of the charts. The charts spoke to me today. The charts literally said, hey, Lewis, exhaustion candle on US 30, there's a gap at the bottom, you know it's going to go down. That's exactly what the chart told me today. And I understood that the charts were telling me that because I learned the language of the charts. But if I didn't know the language of the charts, which again, the language of the chart is candlestick analysis. If I don't understand the language, I'm not going to understand what an exhaustion candle looks like. I'm not going to know what it means. I'm not going to know what the next steps are. Because if I speak to you in Spanish, y yo te pregunto una pregunta en español, are you going to be able to tell me what I just told you? No, because you don't speak the language, right? But if you learn the language, you're going to be able to tell me exactly what I just told you. You're going to be able to give me that answer. So, yeah, US 30 was beautiful. US 30 was beautiful. So on oil, we're looking for price to continue the downtrend push, right? So we know we're at a lower high going into a lower low. We're looking for the continuations. We go down into the 4-hour, right? 4-hour lows and highs are pretty much very similar. We have lower low, lower high, lower low. Price gave us that lower high retest that we were talking about. And we're looking for price to go from this lower high back down into these lower lows down here. All we're looking for is continuations. Do we have those continuations on the 4-hour right now? As we zoom in and we look on a week-to-week basis, we don't have no continuations. We go to the 30-minute time frame. We start looking at the day-to-day basis. What is price doing? It gave us higher high, higher low, higher high, change of character, lower low, lower high, break of structure, lower low. Then it gave us the lower high point, right? And then it gave us another break of structure, lower low. We're trading at a lower high, right? At these lower highs, what do we see? The 800 EMA, price started trending below the 800 EMA. At this point, we had triple tops, right? During the end of Asia going into London, it gave us exhaustion candles at these highs to go back down to the bottom, right? And it's like what you were saying on your text messages, right? We understand that this is just a baby zone of consolidation where prices rejecting highs, lows, highs, coming back down to the bottom, coming back to the highs, coming back to the bottom, right? We can move this line to the middle, to the bottom side, and we could just see that price in the middle of the zone of consolidation. This is where, again, the middle, to answer your question, would I have taken this trade? Absolutely not. Why? Because for me, this is a very aggressive trade. I'm not an aggressive trader. Now, does that mean it's a bad trade? No. Especially if you were trading this at the end of Asia going into London. Because at this point, you were trading the top of the zone of consolidation. At the top of the zone of consolidation, it gave you the inducements. The inducements were the exhaustion candles, right? And you took the trade from the top of the zone of consolidation back down to the bottom where price has been rejecting lows. Now it's like what you said, if you would have been targeting STP, if you would have been targeting ADR, your price would have went right back up and hit your break even. Right? So is it a bad trade? I'm not going to say it's a bad trade because it's not. Right? And you understood what area you were trading in, and you understood that if you were taking anything else, if your TP would have been down here instead of it being here, you know you would have been fucked. So again, is it a bad trade? No. But is it an aggressive trade? Absolutely. But just because it's an aggressive trade, it doesn't mean it's a bad trade. It's just an aggressive trade. And again, that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But again, would I have taken this trade? I wouldn't have taken this trade. I personally would not have taken this trade. But again, it's not a bad trade. And then internally, you know, you had lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Then price gave you lower low. You know, 5 minute, you're pretty much trading. You know, there's no 5 minute structure. Now 1 minute, 1 minute you're trading low, lower high, lower low, high, low, high, low. Zoom in here. Low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Then you had high, low, zone of consolidation. Then price gave you another high, low, high, and then price gave you low, high, low, high, low, high, low. Then price gave you a change of character to the top side, higher high, higher low. Then it gave you higher high, higher low, higher high, lower low, higher high again, and then it gave you a change of character, lower low. Then it gave you a lower high, right? This is where you were looking for the trade, right? So this is where price gave you the lower low, change of character, lower high. I'm lost. Where'd you take this trade? Let me go to the 1 minute. On the 1 minute, you had, again, like I was saying, high, low, right? You had the change of character, lower low, lower highs. I don't know. I gotta see that screenshot you sent me. Let me go look at the screenshot. What's your name? Found it. US oil, you had the change of character. I see you had the change of character here. Boom. Then you had the break of structure that happened here. Boom. Right, and then you took it lower high here. Right, you took the trade on the lower high into the low. You know, again, it's not bad. Right, you had the break of structure. The break of structure happened here. Right, lower low, it gave you the lower high. You know, again, for me personally, I wouldn't have taken this trade. You know, again, mainly because of what we see here. The good thing is that the trade was on the 1 minute. So, you know, the stop loss to the TP, if you're trading on the 1 minute, you're still going to get a good return. You're still going to make a good return. Your RR is always going to be good on the 1 minute because you're not trading with a 30 pip, 40 pip, 50 pip stop loss. And again, a pair like US oil, 152 pips on a day-to-day basis, you know, your stop loss is at 15 pips. Your TP is easily going to be at 60, 70 pips. So it's not bad. However, it's just very high risk, right? And for me, either way, let's say I decided to take this trade here, I would have taken my profit down here. I wouldn't have held throughout all of this to go back down. 7 pip stop for 47 pip TP. See what I mean? Like, it's not bad. Now, I probably wouldn't have gotten into the trade until here. Once price gave us another lower low and it gave us a valid break of these lows because of these candles here, and then we had another lower high, which this lower high was on the 200 EMA, which is where I want to look at, I would have probably taken this trade here and I would have looked for my TP at these lows. Right? This is the entry I would have taken. You did on the 200? Oh, okay. I thought you took it here. Right? But again, not a bad trade. It's just a very aggressive trade that I personally wouldn't have taken. Again, me personally. But I wouldn't have taken that trade. That's where I got caught up at. Oh, okay. I got you. Because again, it's just very simple. Like, at the end of the day anyway, where that lower low was set, right, and where that BOS was set, middle of the zone of consolidation. Right, middle of the zone of consolidation, we already know this is the area where market makers are trapping traders. Trapping traders how? Making you believe that price is going to continue back down to the bottom, and it goes right back up and hits your stop loss, or hits your break even. If you didn't cash out in time where you're supposed to cash out, right, you would have been fucked. Right, you would have been fucked. So I took the first one, but that just answered my question. Level 2 drop. Yep, level 2 drop 200 EMA. Right now, what are we seeing? We're seeing the EMAs getting closer and closer to each other. We're still in the zone of consolidation. Once the EMAs all start bunching up, once the 800, the 200, and the 50 are right next to each other, right on top of each other, right, the same way it was here, we know price is gonna pop. Now, the question just is, in what direction? It all depends on market structure. It all depends on candlestick analysis once we get to that point. But right now on oil, there's not enough confirmations for me. There's not enough going on the charts for me to be comfortable to take these positions just yet. There's still another level of confirmation that I'm waiting for in order for me to take this trade. So right now for US oil, I'm just sitting on my hands. I got lucky then, didn't even take it off to 200. Part of it, it's a little bit of luck. Luck was in your favor today, for sure. But again, not a bad trade. You followed your rules. Again, that's what I really want to make sure that you understand. Like, it wasn't a bad trade. It was just a very aggressive trade that it could have gone either way. This time it went in your favor. So that's pretty much it for me today, guys. Again, tomorrow NYC session. It's a US federal holiday. But again, across the board, Euro. It's a French bank holiday for Euro. For CAD is a bank holiday. For USD is a bank holiday. So I'm not expecting too much movements to happen during the NYC session. So there's a 99% chance that I won't be trading tomorrow morning. There's a 99% chance I won't even be looking at the charts tomorrow. So any questions you guys have, let me know in the chat right now. If not, we'll be back again tomorrow evening for the isolation session at 7 p.m. Right, exactly 10 hours from now. Pretty good session today, yo. 2 hours and 20 minutes. I think I gave you guys a lot of gems. I think we spoke about a lot of real shit. So, again, I know Albert went to sleep, yo. He said, fuck this guy. He's talking way too much. I feel like E, yo. I'm telling you guys. I feel just like E. Yo, E used to do these isolation sessions and it took him 6 hours, yo, to fucking finish this shit. Yeah, please, for everybody watching, yo, please like the session, like the stream. It helps out a lot for the algorithm. Really appreciate it. Great session to join cord, but I gotta take this hoodie off, bro. It's hot as shit. And I gotta take my socks off, too. I'm fucking burning. So that's the shit. That's why I get sick, yo. I don't know if you guys hear it already. Like, my nose is stuffy. I'm I'm just hoping I don't get sick, man. Again, any questions in the chat? We'll give you guys another minute. If there's no questions, we'll be back again tomorrow. Alright, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace out.